Now for something completely different, I broke my Greenlee 200 FP at work. This is a tone probe used for toning out wires. I dropped it, it hit the gas meter on the way down, and it's been silent ever since. Let's see what's wrong with it. This one here, it got dropped and it's not responding. You should hear it humming now, but we're not. So I'm going to take this apart and see what happened. It slipped out of my hand when I was working today and struck a gas meter on its way down to the ground and stopped working. So something must have broken in it, so let's just pop it apart and see if we can fix it. Either that or I'm going to be asking my boss for a new one. Now basically this is just an amplified speaker. There's an amplifier and a speaker, and it just amplifies the whatever is picked up from this induction probe at the end, and lets you hear things like tones and, well, anything that's on the wire. I could hold this up to a phone line, and if someone's speaking on the phone, you can actually hear what they're saying. It's that sensitive. I can hold it up to my LCD on my watch, and you can hear the LCD oscillator running. These things are pretty sensitive devices, but I have a sneaking suspicion that something broke here on the speaker. That's what I think happened, is the speaker broke. But we'll see. See, we should be hearing a hum now. Either the speaker, oh, maybe not. It just came on, you see. We got a connection problem on this somewhere. So let's pull the board and see whether we can figure out where it's not working. It's got a couple connections down the bottom there too. I wonder if it's just right here. Got some hot snot. Is there crystal in this thing? Interesting. It should beep when I press the button. It should go beep, beep, beep as I'm turning it on and off and changing modes. There's got to be a crack somewhere on this board or a connection. As it came on momentarily, it came on again. I wonder if it's just the speakers that's come unsoldered. See if I get a signal on my scope. If I put my scope on here, or do I see any signal? Is it the speaker? Oh, there's a signal there. There's a signal getting there. I bet you it's the speaker. Because when I put my scope probe on here, I see the signal. So like it's a squealing. Yeah, I think the speaker's where the problem is. Yeah, there it is, you see? Maybe I can fix it. It might be right where the wires are attached. Right there. I bet you that's where the fault is. Let's just see if I can reheat those. And they got a conformal coating on them as well, so maybe if I can just heat them up, they'll make a connection. Watch your ears in 3, 2, 1. You were warned. Hey. I think I may have fixed it. Nope, I didn't. It went off again. But it's right here. It is the speaker. It is the speaker that's bad. Well, I think this speaker is FUBAR, so I'm going to have to try and find a new speaker. Any ideas where I might find something that might work in this? So I'm looking for a replacement speaker because this one's obviously shot. And of course I'll find one in the most unlikely of places. This is an old camcorder. In fact, as you can see, I've already ripped this camcorder apart. In fact, I already used the mechanism from this. This was a Type B mechanism. I used the mechanism, the part that slides up and down, to fix my Digital 8 camera because it had a flexible PC failure. And if we look on here, this has got a little speaker. And I think that little speaker is probably about the same size as that little speaker. So I think that the little speaker that's in here is going to work. Should I say little speaker again? Here it is, back here. There's the little speaker. So we're going to take this little speaker out and put it in here. I'll get the little speaker trolls going on this one. So I'm going to pull this little circuit board out. Everything's little on cameras. We'll pull the board out and we'll take a look at the speaker, and I think it's going to fit. I'm pretty sure it's the same size. See, this is why it's good to hang on to things that you might consider scrap. The only reason I was hanging on to this is for the LCD. I was hanging on to this whole thing because this has got a good LCD that may come in handy someday. For example, my little Digital 8 camera uses the same size LCD. So I hung on to this for the LCD. I'm thinking that that's the only thing that would ever be useful out of this was the display panel. But now, just as fate has it, I'm in need of a tiny little speaker. It's either that or call my boss and say, hey, I broke my tone wand. Get me a new one. I guess I could still do that. I could still say, hey, I broke my tone wand, get me a new one, and then bring this one home, and then I'd have a tone wand for home. But that would be totally dishonest. And besides, I like fixing things when they can be fixed. This is the plug. Undo that plug for the speaker. It doesn't want to unplug easily, so we'll just get a little helper in here. remove the screws that hold this in place. Guess I could undo the monitor. I do believe these are the same size. Excellent. In fact, I think the only difference between the two of them is this one here, they put extra goop around the terminals to keep any moisture and stuff out of it. It's even got the little gasket and everything. So I'll heat up the salt. Well, the soldering iron's already hot. It's been probably sitting running for the last couple days. I think I forgot to turn it off. So let's just remove the wires here. And I will solder it onto the wires coming out of the back side of this tone wand. Whoops, this should be the red one. It's got a red dot on there, so this is obviously the positive wire. Okay, turn it on. Aha. Doesn't go as loud as the other one, but if I hold it up to my watch, we should hear the watch buzzing, the LCD. Especially if I turn on the backlight. The backlight for my watch. Once I put this back together, it'll probably sound a lot better, because the sound right now is coming off both sides of the speaker. So let me just undo the battery here. We'll start to reassemble the tone wand, if I can remember how it went back together. It goes in like this. That goes in like that, and then the speaker sits in the base. The speaker sat in kind of like that, if I'm not mistaken. It kind of sits into this base at an angle. That screw goes in through here to hold this board down. I think that's the only screw. And the other one, yeah, the other one's the long screw that goes in the back. Okay, that holds the board in place, and then we just reset the speaker again into here. There, like that. And then there's a couple of screws that hold the whole unit together. The induction probe goes in the front here. It's got a nose cone that goes on. That one goes in there, and then the middle one here, and then the bottom one over the battery cover. And hopefully that's going to make this thing works. I'll try not to drop it on a gas meter again. It's good sound. I'll try my tone wand in a minute. I got a tone generator here as well to test it with, so we'll test it out here momentarily and make sure everything's working. So of course what these are used for is for detecting when you're looking for wires hidden in walls and stuff, right? Or you're looking for to tone out a pair. So I got my tone generator going here, and I bring it near the wire, and I can hear it. And it doesn't matter where the wire is. I could plug this thing into my phone line and use it to track down a phone jack. So let me do that. To give you an idea how sensitive this is, that's the LCD display on my watch. If I turn on the backlight, the backlight, it's got an EL display. It's picking up the EL display. Battery's weak on this thing. It's not the same fidelity as the original speaker, but I've got a tone now plugged into my telephone line. This is what we use these things for in the business, for whether you're toning out speakers or Cat5 lines or anything. These are invaluable when you're working with copper. I was also considering these headphones to steal a driver out of this, but then I thought, well, wait a minute, I got this camera. So I got a phone on, I got a tone on my phone. Got a tone on my phone jack. All you do is bring the wand near. You'll hear it. In fact, this thing's pretty sensitive. This is a remote control wire here. Bet you I can hear it. So if I push a button on here, you'll hear, this is a wired remote. It's on Cat5, but you'll hear it buzzing away. Hear that? And if I bring it near a remote control, like say my remote control for example, see? You hear the different frequencies. For my TV, it makes a different sound. For my DVD player, different sound again. Yes, sir. Something auxiliary. So everything's got its own unique tone. And these are pretty sensitive. Like if I just take this and just stick it into my phone line here, right? This is the phone line going to my phone. If I dial numbers, listen, you'll hear it. That's just picking up induction. If I wasn't going through the insulation, if I was in a phone room, for example, and I actually put this right up to against the block, I could hear if there was someone talking on there. I could hear every word they say without. It's an inductive probe, right? So it'll just pick up the signal right off a wire. It's pretty sensitive. Anyway, there you have it. My Greenlee 200 FP filter probe is fixed. And I'm happy. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one real soon.